Happy Friday. Since this is your last day of the week and you don't have school tomorrow, enjoy. I will be in meetings all day. Lovely. Today is an epic day in your algebraic lives, my friends. Now, sadly, I don't have a t-shirt to pair with this epic day. That's my bad. But today, you are learning the quadratic formula. Okay, and you probably don't think it's that big of a deal, but if you ask like any adult and you start the song that goes with the formula, they know it. So, big day. So, your objective for today, we're still solving quadratic equations. We've pretty much done that like all week. That's when you've solved it by factoring. You did that a lot yesterday, solved by graphing, square roots. I'm showing you another method today. It's using a formula. And for us in algebra who like just black and white, formulas are fantastic. So, like I was just saying, we know how to solve quadratic equations using graphs, using square roots, using factoring. Okay, factoring is my fave, aside from the quadratic formula. Today, your new method is using this formula. Let's quickly review when it's a good and like not a good time to use the different methods. So here you are. So if you're looking at A and you see that you've got 3x squared minus 9, you know that's a quadratic equation because it has the exponent of 2. But what method would be best to use for that? Well, I personally, number one, I don't see an x term, and I see a perfect square with 9 here. So I'm going to solve that using, if this thing ever goes down, square roots. Okay? When I see that I've got x squared minus x minus 30, my clue, I know that I can factor that really quick. I know that my two like numbers that I'd need would be -6 and 5. So because I can factor to solve, that's what I would do. For this guy here, you've got 6x squared plus 13x minus 17. Just think about multiplying AC together right there. 6 times -17. 617, that's my birthday. That's a lot. And actually, it's not factorable, which means you're going to use the quadratic formula. So whenever you see a quadratic with these really big numbers, or you can't easily find two numbers that multiply to AC and add up to B, you're going to use the quadratic formula. If you look at D, this one looks much simpler, but are there two numbers that multiply to 3 and add up to a -5? Okay, well, the answer is no. So that means that you're going to use the quadratic formula. Now, if you were given a graph, you could also use that, but we're going to use the formula. This guy for E again, too, we're going to go formula. You've got -16, 50, 21. Those are very large numbers. We're going to use the formula to do so. Like I just told you, this formula, the reason I'm making such a big deal about it is because if you start singing this song, which I'm going to show you, to like any adult, most of them could probably reiterate the formula back to you. So, I mean, even when I was playing it, like Scott was singing it back to me, which, oh my gosh, but whatever. So here's what the formula looks like. It's x equals -b plus or minus, this is a plus minus sign, the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That, it seems like a lot, but you guys, like when I was saying it out loud to you, I was singing the song in my head. And hopefully this guy is going to be your clue for the song. Now, I'm going to play the song for you so you can hear it. And then once you hear it once, you're going to hear it in your head the whole time. Then I found an alternate version that made me laugh and it made me think of you guys. So I'm also going to play that too. All right, so here we go. Here is the original version, which most adults know, and this is what I sing inside my head too when I'm thinking about the formula.
X is equal to -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
It's to Pop Goes the Weasel. Listen again.
X is equal to -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
Okay, one more time.
X is equal to -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
Okay, you can go on YouTube and there are literally millions of songs, but that is the way that I always remember it. And if you mess up even a little piece of the formula, you're not going to get the correct answer. So it's a good memorization mechanism. Okay, here's the funny video that made me think of you guys, and I was just cracking up. Okay, here we go. Got 2 million views.
If you try to solve a quadratic equation, I promise you it's possible without any frustration. If you take everything, move it to one side, solve by x squared, x, and the rest. Alright, now take...
Okay, that's actually important. I'm going to stop right there. When you've got quadratic equations, you have to move all of your terms over to the left side so that everything is equal to 0. Otherwise, you can't solve. So even though he's singing and making a joke, I mean, it's not funny. It's serious, you guys. It's serious. You need to set everything equal to 0.
Take the coefficients, name them A, B, and C, and if you know the right formula, you will see that you get the solution in the very next step. Just sing the song in your head.
Here we go.
Negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC over 2A. Negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC over 2A.
I think I just like that he went all the way up to a mountain to go film that. So that was just me. Okay, I'm going to close out my YouTube tabs really quick so that I can speed up my computer a little bit. And here we go. Okay, we listened to the song, we're good. So for your notes, it is the quadratic formula. I have lots of weasels throughout this lesson to remind you to sing the song to Pop Goes the Weasel. Okay, so here's the formula for you to write down. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, we use this method when quadratics cannot be factored. So if you see like x squared minus 5x plus 3 and you know that you cannot factor that, you're going to go ahead and use the quadratic formula. Okay, that's the whole point of it. So here we go. I'm going to walk you through how to do it. There are a little bit of nuances that you might not pick up on, so let's get going. All right, so if I asked you to find the solutions of x squared minus 2x minus 8, the first thing that you always want to do is identify what a, b, and c are. So I know that a is going to be 1. That'd be 1. B is a negative 2, and then C is negative 8. I recommend doing that every single time. Okay, then here's our formula yet again. X equals negative B plus or minus the square root, B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Okay. All I did was plug in my values. So here's what you need to make sure that you notice. You see how you have a negative B here? That just means opposite of B. So if I say that B is negative 2 here, I'm going to make it positive down here. Plus or minus the square root, b squared, so it's negative 2 squared, negative 2 times negative 2, minus 4ac all over 2 times a. So all I did, I just plugged in my numbers there. Now when I'm simplifying, I've got negative 2 squared, which turns out to be 4. Okay, 4 times 1 is just 4, and then I still have this piece here. Here's what I've got. When I do 4 minus 4 times negative 8, negative 4 times negative 8 is a positive 32, okay? So underneath my radical, I've got 4 plus 32, which simplifies to a 36. Now, notice that you've got this piece here, and look what's highlighted in blue. When you have plus or minus, you're going to split that into an expression that utilizes the plus sign and one that utilizes the minus sign. So here's what it's going to look like. And also, guys, what is the square root of 36? 6. Here's what it looks like. I did 2 plus 6 because square root of 36 is 6. Then over here I did 2 minus 6. You have to set up 2 separate expressions, one using the plus sign, one using the minus sign, and then simplify from there. So like I know 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is just 4. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. Negative 4 divided by 2 is a negative 2. So here's what my 2 solutions look like. Give me a second to exit this out. So it's going to be 4, because 8 divided by 2 is 4, and negative 2. Those are my 2 solutions of the quadratic. So ladies and gentlemen, when you get these equations that cannot be factored, identify what a, b, and c are, write out your formula, plug in your values. Once you get down here and you simplify, make sure that you set it up as 2 plus, or whatever your number is, plus for one expression and then minus for one expression. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, this would be a good time for you to pause the video, see if you can do it, and see if we get the same solutions. All right, so we're given x squared plus 2x equals 3. Think back to the video of the man on the mountain singing about a formula, and he moved everything to the left side to set it equal to 0. So I know that this constant of 3 has to be moved over to the other side, so we're going to subtract it. Sorry that my computer is lagging hardcore today. Okay, so you got -3 and -3. So here's the quadratic that we're looking at. Step 1, identify what A, B, and C are. Okay, so I usually give myself like an open like little format for me to fill in, and I know, okay, A is going to be 1, B will be 2, and C will be -3. Then write out your formula, x equals -b plus or minus the square root, b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I know I don't need to say it out loud to you guys every time, but the more that you hear it, the more you'll remember it. I also just love it. Okay. All right, so here's what it looks like. So when you plug in your values, it says b squared, or sorry, opposite of b. Okay, if b is 2, opposite of 2 is -2. Plus or minus the square root, b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. Then we're just going to simplify. Okay, 2 squared gives us a 4. When we've got this quantity, we've got 4 times 1, which is 4. Okay, 4 times a -3 is -12. Minus a -12 turns into addition. Okay, and that simplifies under here to 16. Now here's the important part, my friends. After you simplify this whole expression, you see this plus minus. That so many kids overlook that, you guys, and they forget to split it up into 2 expressions. First of all, I know that the square root of 16 is 4. So in our expressions, you'll have -2 plus 4 over 2, and then -2 minus 4 over 2. Okay, so here, I kind of like, the reason I snipped this, I liked how they showed you splitting it up. So you've got -2 plus 4 over 2, -2 minus 4 over 2. This simplifies as your numerator to 2 over 2, which is 1. And then you'd have a -6 over 2, which is a -3. Okay, so important things to see. We started with plus minus. Here's your plus, here's your minus, and then here are your solutions. So this quadratic equation has 2 solutions. We use the quadratic formula to find them. Now you are moving into fancy algebra vocabulary, and I know that I'm probably the only one excited, but that's okay because I can be excited for all 20 of us. Okay, we are going to talk about the discriminant. Discriminant, okay? The discriminant is a little piece of your quadratic formula that's like a tool to tell you how many solutions that your equation is going to have. The discriminant is b squared minus 4ac, okay? It is b squared. It's this part here, b squared minus 4ac. When you plug your values into find the discriminant, you will find out if your quadratic has 1, 2, or no solutions. Okay, so again, the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. It is just a little portion of your quadratic formula, and we use it to see how many solutions your quadratic will have. So here's just kind of quick notes for it, and then I'll show it to you in real time. So again, here's your discriminant. When you plug in your values to the discriminant, if your answer turns out to be positive, you'll have 2 real solutions. If your answer turns out to be 0, you'll have 1 real solution. If it is negative, you have no real solutions. Okay, let's show that to you with a few examples. So here we go. Now, if I just showed you this graph, you already know that it has 2 solutions because it crosses your x-axis twice, but let's pretend like we don't have that. So if I had this quadratic here, x squared minus 6x plus 7, and I plug my values into the discriminant, so b squared, okay, b is -6, then minus 4ac. That turns out to be 36 minus 28, which is 8. So because this answer here is positive, that means that there are 2 real solutions to your quadratic. When I'm given a quadratic equation and I find the discriminant and my answer turns out to be exactly equal to 0, that means that there is 1 real solution, and you can even see that here on your graph. Okay, again, you're not, if you were given the graph, you're not going to go do all this, but it just kind of shows you. Finally, if you have a quadratic equation and your answer turns out to be negative when you find the discriminant, like this is -8, that means that there are no real solutions. Okay, let's show that to you in an actual example so you have some more meaning and some more understanding. All right, here is your quadratic equation, x squared minus 6x plus 9. Step 1, identify what a, b, and c are. So I know a is 1, b is negative 6, c is 9, okay? Now, if I just asked you how many solutions this has, you don't need to go through and solve, you just need to find the discriminant for me. And remember, you're just plugging these values into that little portion b squared minus 4ac. When you do that, okay, you plug it in here. B squared, b is negative 6, that goes here, minus 4 times a is 1, c is 9. If you want to pause the video to look at the colors, it can help you, but if you feel like you're fine, then you keep going. Now, this turns out to be 36, and then minus 36. Because that gives you an answer of 0, how many solutions do you have? Well, I know that if my discriminant is equal to 0, I have one real solution. If my discriminant turned out to be like 100, I'd have two real solutions. If it was like negative 100, it would be no solutions. Let's try one more time, and then I promise I'm done for the day. I know this was a lengthy one. Okay, if I gave you this quadratic equation and I said, how many real solutions does this have? Hopefully right away you're like, Mrs. LeMan, we listened to the man on the mountain and we need to turn all of our terms, move them all over to the left side so that everything is set equal to 0. So I know that when I see this negative 5 on the right, okay, I'm going to add it to the other side by performing the inverse. Now my equation is ready. I've got 2x squared minus 3x plus 5. Okay, I'm looking for the discriminant because I just want to know how many real solutions there are. So I'm just going to plug it in for b squared. B is negative 3 minus 4. Okay, so that was wrong. My bad. Sorry. Okay, minus 4 times a, which is 2, and then times c, which is 5. Now, when I simplify that, give me 2 seconds. Okay, when I simplify that, I know negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9. And then again, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I had a 3 on the outside there. There should be a 4. When you do 9 minus 4 times 10, 4 times 10 is going to be obviously 40. But when you do 9 minus 40, looking like this, hopefully you know that your discriminant is going to be a very negative number, negative 31. If it's a negative number, that means that there are no real solutions. And that is it. Let me quickly recap what we learned today just to get it all summed up, and then I'll talk about your assignment. All right, when we are looking at quadratic equations to solve them, we've learned how to look at graphs to identify the solutions. Okay, we looked at how to use the square root method. We looked at how to factor. But today we looked at a new method, which is the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is good when your quadratic equations cannot be easily factored and you don't have a graph. The formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, hopefully your ears didn't just break after that, and if they did, I'm so sorry. Not only did we learn how to utilize this formula and use A, B, and C to plug it in to find our real number solutions like we did here, but we also learned that a little portion of that formula is called the discriminant, okay? The discriminant is just b squared minus 4ac. We use that little snippet of the formula to determine how many real number solutions there are. If your discriminant gives you a positive number, you'd have two real solutions. If it's equal to 0, you'd have one real solution. If it's negative, you'll have no real solutions. And that is it. One of the most epic days in algebra. I would have made a huge deal about this if we were in person, but I'm so sorry. Here we are. Okay, your Thursday assignment is the quadratic formula Schoology check. Take your time. Take your time doing this. I am telling you, it is very valuable for algebra and for honors geometry. I was talking with your high school department chairs the other day, and I was looking at your summer work. You're going to have to use the formula for some of the equations on there. So very valuable. Take your time. If you need any help, please message me, let me know, and enjoy your day off tomorrow. Much love. See ya.